Okay, for those of you listening to the audio podcast, we also release the show with video visuals on YouTube. So if you like some pretty pictures to go along with our pretty voices, search for Digital Suffering Podcast on YouTube to find us. Hello, and welcome to episode 19 of the Digital Suffering Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Something.
PhamtomLimb.
Your name.
Insert name here.
Insert name here. We start off, BlizzCon is upon us, and it has divulged much juicy content for us to talk about.
I was so glad that my hopes and dreams were fulfilled with, what's that game called that I love so much? I can't remember. It's Overwatch 2. Oh wait, no, it was Overwatch 1, just reskinned with a couple of new characters that looked like the old characters, but with fresh faces.
But wait, the thing is, where Overwatch, they were just adding content to it. Why have an Overwatch 2? It doesn't need...
It puzzled the shit out of me. It's so-called leak that happened like 5 days ago, and I was like, does anyone actually give a shit? And obviously I don't, because I'm being sarcastic, and Overwatch is the most boring thing next to Fortnite and all those other games. And I don't care for it. But I found it most, like, even like the chat that was, people were spamming in the chat that when this was being shown, that this was just a reskin. And it's like, I can't argue with that.
Well, I just can't see a reason.
And I can't see why they wouldn't just reskin it. There's nothing wrong graphically or anything else with the game that's currently available.
Yeah, maybe it's just they need a way to charge for it again. And it's like, well, if we stick a number 2 and force people to, buy a second time mode.
It seems bizarre, to say the least. In other news, they bought that dragon from Cataclysm. I don't know his name. What's his name from Cataclysm? The dragon?
Cataclysm?
It is, right?
Smorg.
Anyway.
What? Cataclysm?
World of Warcraft Cataclysm.
Oh! I've not watched... I've just avoided BlizzCon as much as possible.
Oh, wow. Okay, that was like 10 years ago. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. I don't play WoW. I played WoW more than 10 years ago.
They put him to Heart of the Swarm.
Okay.
And there's 2 versions of him. There's like there's the before and after version, I think.
Okay.
Pre his.
Before and after what?
His imprisonment.
His change.
His imprisonment.
He's op. Is he pre-op?
I think post-op he didn't have a metal jaw. Pre-op he was metal jaw, not metal jaw.
Isn't it
post-op
like
metal
Deathwing?
jaw?
Deathwing.
There you go. That's
Deathwing.
I remember. Yes, Deathwing.
Clutching for it. Yes, that was the name. So he was announced for Heart of the Swarm. Like anyone even plays that game. I can't even I can't remember the last time I saw that even on Twitch. I know they pulled the esports thing for it.
Heart of the Swarm.
But I can't. I know Twitch has now changed its way of doing it. That the games you watch most are at the top of your list unless you change it. But who's got the time?
I still don't have a login for it. I refuse.
Cool. And then what else was there? Shadowlands, World of Warcraft expansion.
Oh yes. I saw a little bit of the cinematic where what's his name breaks the mask
and that elf woman who is in every single cutscene ever.
Sylvanas?
Last 10 years.
EverQuest.
Who never seems to die, even though she seems to get
Eve online.
Attacked a lot. Yes, that's it. Even though they killed off that dude like 15 years ago, they brought him back.
The elf from the graphic card demo CGI that would pan around her face. And you would see the dimples of her skin. That elf.
I have no idea what you're talking about right
Come
now.
on.
He's had a lot of coffee. So
Come on, I have a good cup of coffee this morning.
And then, of course, the only thing that I gave a shit about, Diablo IV.
Which that's a bit strong,
there was a part of me, like 50% of me, that was praying that it wasn't going to be at the BlizzCon, just to piss off all the little fanboys that were spamming that it was being leaked.
Don't forget to see that.
That it was being leaked. This BlizzCon, I just wanted them to feel
realise
the burn
this was
again.
the after 10 PM blue version.
Also, nobody gave 2 S's, but
you can say this word.
They
Socks.
actually had news on our new favourite game, Diablo Immortal.
Oh yeah.
And there's video of it. The theme of Diablo is we're making it dark again because everyone complained about the rainbows that were in one part of the game, but we were talking about the rainbow. It's like all these butthurts that they got to stream the game that they've been slagging off for the last 2 years, making videos like, why is PoE better than Diablo 3? And then they got all these losers to come to BlizzCon and promote their game. And some of them didn't even know what they were doing. Like, it was like literally, I'll get some clicks out of this. I'll come. They'll probably give me lunch as well. And
free lunch.
And it couldn't have been the worst group of people that they could amass. I mean,
it probably could have been.
I don't know.
I'm sure they could have got worse people. People haven't played either game.
Yeah,
right. There's a certain New Zealander that I don't have great love for, and
Sam Neill.
And he was the.
Or is he Australian?
He was
I think he's a Kiwi.
I think he's.
You're getting distracted.
Yeah, I'm not.
He was the highlight of douchebags that were streaming this game. They've taken away things that they changed. You have no belt.
So far,
yes.
It's working. When it comes out in 2036,
yeah, okay.
You can,
but of course, I'm talking about so far because it's so far, right? I can't see into the future because that crystal ball was taken from me at the airport. Things they've taken out of the game so far, right? The color palette, for one.
It's nice greeny greys.
It obviously we're only seeing one beaten down highland of a location in this. They didn't show any other areas, which is fine, and I get it. It's supposed to be depressed, and I actually don't mind the color palette. It is what it is, and you can see that they haven't taken the color palette out in the spells and other things, because obviously it still has vibrant color, but they've gone for a look, and they've definitely achieved a very dark look, bringing back the darkness or some BS like that was their tagline. Or the darkness, I don't know.
I thought that was a necromancer, wasn't it?
Anyway,
because Diablo
apparently the necromancer on D3 was too cutesy for them.
But they said
summoned rainbow kittens.
The dude said that he was going to be dark. I remember he said it several times.
Anyway, irrespective of that BS, they've taken away the belt. They've taken away your shoulders. The current.
They've taken away loads more. I mean, there were 13. Now there's only 8.
Yes.
Well, I suppose 13 with the weapon, so there are 9. So taken away 4 somewhere.
They have also taken away a lot of skills from the characters.
Well,
in the current build,
that it shows, because there could be because there were 3 or 4 skill tabs, weren't there? It's skill groups, weren't there? There was like a.
There's like groups. 4 or 5 skills on each.
Yeah,
run.
but they were grouped, weren't they? Because
yes.
It was like.
So it was like
I remember Leap had. I'm trying to think back to D2, but I'm sure it was tabulated. Even though.
Yeah, but it was a tab, and then it was a tree, as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So you had one screen, but then you could tab to another one. So it wasn't like in this. It's just one screen so far with
yes
5 or so skills or whatever.
Yeah, but and also from what they've said, you're locked in. So it's gone back to a points-based system like on D2. So you want to, what's the phrase? You want to become an expert, shall we say, in frenzy, for instance.
Concentration. That's always a skill, mate. Concentration.
And then you put a pip into that. Once you get a level up, you put a point into that, and it makes the skill available to you and gives you a certain damage based on that's base damage. And then obviously the more points you put into it, the more damaging the skill becomes. Mm-hmm. Obviously that's based on base, and then you've got the weapon damage that's added to it and any multipliers. And
yeah,
so on
as
and
you
so
get
on.
a level, you get a pip to spend on a given skill.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, but in the current iteration, they are saying you are locked into that skill. There is no respec.
Yeah, I bet there will be.
So, I bet there will be as well at some point in the game. You're probably going to be able to buy a respec.
No, I would.
I think you are. I think that is going to be the case.
I don't think you will. I would think it will be much freer than that.
Well, irrelevant. It's irrelevant because also what they said. I think that's going to be the gold thing. That and the gambling, because they're bringing back gambling.
Gambling?
What do you mean bringing it back?
In the gold sense, they're bringing it back, like on D2, where you go to Jeed or the other person, Chelsea, I think it was, and you would gamble. No, it wasn't Chelsea. It was the guy in Act 2 in Luke Delane.
Yeah.
And you would gamble for an item. So they're bringing that back. So there's your. I think that's going to be the other gold sink in terms of that.
Yeah, but gold looks like it's even now. It looks like it's much more free flowing than it was at the beginning of vanilla D3.
Yeah, but the vanilla D3 was like a game that was playing you, not you playing it, because you were too busy getting absolutely smashed into the floor by the enemies because you were never strong enough and never found any legendaries, and then when you did, it was so underwhelming, it was unreal. It was like, legendary? This looks like a burnt umber spear that was like lost by some tramp because it was useless.
A legendary tramp.
Purveyor of bad equipment. Yes, and then they've changed. They've brought back rune words. They've brought from D2.
Well, they brought back runes.
Yes, sorry, they brought back runes, and at the current stage, they're only in two. There's only 2 sockets. There's no 6-socketed items. There's no 4-socketed items.
Yeah, but are there multiple items that can have sockets?
I've only seen.
Because I've only seen chest armor, isn't it?
Yeah, only seen armor. Nothing else seems to. It would stand to reason. Like, I think everything on D2 bar the belt. So it was like the head, the chest, the gloves, and the boots could have sockets. Yeah, I'm sure, right?
No, I don't think gloves. And I don't know about boots.
Really? Am I misremembering?
Yeah.
Was it just head and head and chest?
I think so. And weapon, of course.
Maybe I'm getting confused with not
weapon and shield. But I don't remember. I don't remember.
Years.
Yeah, I don't remember
10
boots.
years.
Boots and gloves. No, and boots. I don't think so.
Maybe I'm wrong. I probably am. I haven't played it in like 10 years. Either way, there is it's like a catalyst and then an effect. So we've seen ones that, like when you drink a health
that
potion,
looks awesome.
Is the catalyst,
Shame.
and then the effect is you get 50% more crit strike. Was crit strike or crit? It was, right?
Crit chance? No.
Crit chance, right?
I've
It's
forgotten.
50% crit chance for 7 seconds based on you drinking a health potion.
Yeah.
So, and from what the developer said, they're going to be like that.
That's crazy though. That is 50%.
But if you think about it, you have to wait 12 seconds for the health potion.
Well, you don't have to wait 12 seconds. You're waiting 5 seconds, aren't you? Because for that 7 seconds, you've got 50% crit damage or whatever it is.
That's not bad, but it's also not. It might not be game breaking.
Well, for what? For a 5 second cooldown or a 5 second debuff? Sounds a bit broken to me.
It depends how. Obviously, it'll be abused.
Because I mean, you could.
And it's going to go from 50% to 10%.
Well, yeah, but then it's going to
go within a week.
But then it's going to go from 60% to 10%, isn't it? Because all you need to do is just purposefully just walk in someone's arrow or something, and you can drink a health potion.
Also,
and there you get your buff again.
Also, it doesn't seem like, unless it's like a localized weapon skill or like a trait based on the talent tree that they have now, I don't think there's going to be a lot of... I don't think there's going to be any items that have crit chance on them. It's going to be much more like... It seems a lot more like D2.
We're just about D2. The sockets are on helms, body armor, shields, and all weapons except throwing weapons.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't on... I was wrong. It wasn't on boots and gloves. So... I think that this is kind of like a stopgap, because you're not going to have 60% like you can on... I think the most you can have on D3 currently is like 62% crit chance. And I've got a wizard that's got 60% crit chance and 500 crit damage, which is, you know, a little bit insane if you look at it as those numbers. But I don't think this is going to work like that.
4.
Yes, but that's just 4 presets. You can just make a new...
No, I know.
Yeah, if you had like lots of things, you could have like 20.
But there's a woman and a man and a... Well,
there's 2 women, 2
and
men.
a man.
Yeah, so those runes are back and they're slightly different. The inventory is crazy looking because all the items are jumbled around a 3D model of the character that you kind of only saw on... It's kind of akin to other current ARPGs. I think the Chaos Bane looks quite similar to this arrangement. It's the Warhammer Chaos Bane game that came out. Looks like a disappointing. I wanted that game to be good because good source material, and it actually looked like the engine was pretty decent for the stuff. And then literally I saw somebody get to end gaming less than 10 hours and have like
no
top tier gear
within
2 days of starting to play the game, and had destroyed all the content of the game
in 2 days.
In 2 days, had no reason to go back.
That's
balance issues much.
It sounds like the pacing may not have been worked out correctly.
No, otherwise it looks like a competent game.
And that's full commercial release now, is it?
Yeah, it came out a couple of months ago.
Oh.
Very disappointed. They're adding to it, so
please come back.
Hopefully they'll balance the crap out of it.
That Wrath of the Berserker, it's got a 60-second cooldown.
Oh, is it only 60? Okay.
Well, yeah, on this, he just hovered over it. It says 60 seconds.
This,
which is not bad because I think it said active for 20. But when does the cooldown starts once you activate it, right? It's not after it. It's not after it.
If it's like D3, it will start as
when you activate it, right?
No, on a lot of skills, the cooldown starts once the skill has finished. So it's actually an 80 seconds.
With that one, with Wrath of the, it starts when it.
I think it did on that particular one. Yeah.
When you activate it, can't think of the bloody word.
Yeah. They've broken down the stash into utility, materials, so it's kind of like they've seen what Diablo 3 development team did took them 5-7 years to get to that point where your items weren't cluttered with crap that you'd only ever use once. How many death breaths have you got? I've got 12,000s. They stack in 50s.
Sell them.
What? But what? I can't get rid of them because I might need to craft a new piece of kit. But I'm not using them right now, so they're taking up 3/5 of my inventory space.
I mean, you should buy a bigger hard drive.
Wait, it doesn't work like that.
Oh no, it doesn't.
They should sell premium storage spaces. Job done.
No, they should not.
Oh, pluggy. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So again, they changed the health potions. There's no one potion for all. You have to pick them up like you did at the beginning of D3, like you have to do in D2 also.
I wonder if they'll change that. I mean, there's...
maybe. There's a 12-second cooldown, as previously mentioned.
There's no health globes, are there?
There are no health globes, as we have seen. The health globe idea was okay, but it was messy as F, because nobody ever knowingly stacked health globe bonus. So you would run over to a health globe, your screen is glowing red because you're almost dead. You run over to a health globe going, I can continue to fight. And it would give you 8,000. I've got 1.2 million life on my character, and this thing has healed me 8,000.
A little
red pixel. It barely got rid of the red screen. Let's put it that way. It has in no way, shape or form made me ready for battle again. It was garbage.
It's like applying a plaster and you're like bleeding everywhere. You're like, there you go.
Yeah.
Now get out there and fight again.
I've got a jugular wound and here's a plaster for your finger. Honestly, it was like absolutely pointless. Like endgame, health globes are pointless.
They don't scale up.
No.
It's fixed.
No,
you can get a bonus.
You can, you can, but
on gear.
But it's
replace an actual thing.
Yeah, it was such a weird balance.
You might as well just use a health potion.
Yeah, but you can't because health potion's got a 30-second cooldown.
Don't get hit as much. Or, think about it.
Yeah, mitigate damage. That's another stat you have to get rid of.
You have to. It's a weird thing that you never feel. You never feel fully rounded.
What they did is that they put in a system where you would constantly be fighting with the health globe system, so you would never back off, right? But then the health globe system made it that you would never die. So they kind of regressed that a bit, and then they said we're going to have no health leech, right? So on D2 you had like this takes 3% of the person's life and gives it back to you.
Yeah, the vampirism's attacks.
Exactly. Right? So they said in D3, they said, we're not going to do that. We're going to do it in a completely different way. Right?
Okay.
And you can get health regen, and you can get this, and you can get that. But none of it ever came to the point where it was usable, because as you went up, the enemies would scale up also. So an enemy would hit you, and you had a certain amount of toughness, and because you're stacking either regen or health globe bonus or one of the other BS things that's supposed to keep you alive, you had no defensive capabilities. Yeah. Right? So you either had one or the other, or you had bad of both. Right? So you'd get hit by, you're in the Highlands, a beastman throws a spear at you, and you lose 50% of your life. There's 14 of these guys, you're dead. That's
just
it.
Only get hit once.
Yeah.
Don't get hit a second time, because that's bad.
Only get hit once as you slowly trickle your health back up, because you've got an impressive 5,000 a second that you've got on the one item that you could afford to have with regen and not an actual stat.
Well, it's accidentally happened.
Because
you had to re-roll something else to give you better, so it just stayed.
Yeah. So you've got 5,000 in your million life, and this guy's chucking spears for 500k. Are you kidding me? So it didn't work. And then health globe bonus, no one's going to stack health globe bonus unless they're mentally ill. And so you run over this thing and you hit, 8,000.
Vibrates rapidly over the health globe.
When people figured out the whirlwind build initially, you
could whirlwind over it.
They had a belt that was that actually had the barbarian belts, the mighty belts.
They had life leech. Yeah.
Exactly. For a period of time, they put on those belts only life leech.
Everyone wanted them,
right? So
but they were barbarian only. They still are.
Right, and they would use a weapon called Sever, because Sever would overleech on that 3% because it would do a killing blow damage. So if the person had 10,000 health, it would do like a 50,000 hit, but it would leech. The life leech would leech for 50,000, not for the 10,000 the actual enemy had. So people had this item Sever on, and they had the belt on, and they were whirlwinding away, and their health was going from literally like 5 to 10,000, like this. It was literally bottoming out and skyrocketing constantly as they were.
You had to keep hitting things, or you would die.
Literally, it was like a shark. You had to keep moving and chopping, because the second you stop chopping, it was the case even that I saw people come out of the group that they were attacking,
and die
and
slowly,
and then just get hit, and it was instant death.
Yeah,
because they had no more life to leech.
Wow.
And it was the case that people would run away. The mobs got like because they would corral loads of people in.
You got to herd them.
Yeah, and as it got down to like less than 10, they would move off and find another group. Because that group was not sustainable for the damage that they were hitting you with.
Yeah.
They weren't sustaining your life. Like, how insane is that?
That is insane.
Right, so then they took the life leech off the belts as well, and they put it on one set of braces that is only barbarian, and they don't do anything.
Yeah, but they can't do, because you don't need it now, and there are other things that do. There are other skills that do, and they've changed the mechanic now because it's not on the hit. It's the percentage of your life.
Yes.
So it leeches.
Oh, a health percentage.
2% of your maximum life,
okay.
or something like that, or 3% of your maximum life.
Eventually,
so it doesn't do it on the attack or on the enemy health. On enemy health.
But why not just have like various items do various versions? So some do
they're Blizzard and they do their own thing.
The problem is they talk them. This is like what PoE's done. They talk themselves into a system that they then.
So we don't need this.
They don't back out of it and start a new system. They just keep pushing through with that system.
Look at the skills. Look at the skills. Pause that for a second.
Yeah.
Look at the skills. So you see, it's. Well, you can't see now because the thing's over the thing. But on the left hand side of the tab, right, you've got left mouse, right mouse, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
So skills.
No, yeah. But you don't assign. What I mean is you're not assigning the skill to the button. You're assigning the button to the skill.
Well, no, because you can have like like for the left button, your choice of 4 skills.
Well, here you do, but what I'm saying is, if you click, for example, you'd click on 4, and it would open up the whole of his skill,
Yeah, so that's something on D3 you had to hit a button that allowed you to put any skill on any button.
Okay.
Otherwise, it was.
No, I'm not talking about elective.
Yeah, but
nonsense,
this is kind of taking elective away from you.
Yeah, but no, but. What I mean is, just because this is a demo and all the moves are locked in, right? You for number 4, for example, there's obviously not only 4 skills you can choose for. You know, he doesn't have only 4 skills down there. Do you know what I mean?
It does though, but yeah.
Yeah, but he does here because this placeholder.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. Currently, I did say this earlier. Currently, there's only there's a lot less skills than there were in D3.
But you know, they've got time to add them.
Yeah, but what I'm not talking about that, man. What I'm talking about the button configuration, right? Why can't I have what I mean? You could have number 4, whatever that says. I can't read it. Whatever that says. You could put that on number 3. So you can have an.
They don't allow that.
Yeah, well, elective mode will allow it.
Yeah, so Barbarian has multiple weapon slots.
Yes. So 1 sharp 2-handed, 1 blunt 2-handed, and then 2 hand weapons.
Doesn't this mean the Barbarian class has got like all the attention and like the other classes?
I don't think that's necessarily true.
No, because the wizard can choose a wand and a stick and a.
It's bigger stick.
Stick. We're trying to think of synonyms for stick.
Yeah.
A staff, a stave.
A pole arm, a pole arm,
yeah,
a bow
with the string removed.
Yeah, a BO bow, not a BOW.
Oh yeah, a stick that's longer than the previous stick.
Yes, but like
I don't understand.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
So with Whirlwind, I'm assuming in the classic way, it's probably going to be 2 hand weapons rather than a 2-handed weapon. And you're not going to be able to choose.
I want the attributes from the legendary 2-handed weapon that I found, though. I don't understand.
Okay.
Just clone it and put it in every slot.
Right.
Well, that wouldn't work because it's the wrong size for a start. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely based because he's got like a almost upward golf swing version of Seismic Slam in the demo, where instead of going down with the attack, he goes up with the attack and seems to unearth a bunch of crud with it as well in a sort of shotgun fashion towards everything that's in front of him. and for that it looks like he's using the blunt two-handed weapon. And then one of the people I was watching streaming this found a legendary maul, and when he did the attack, it set the floor on fire. So obviously you're getting that. There's still that thing from
but that's just because that
D2,
weapon,
D3
it rolled fire damage. Surely.
No. That's one of its. It leaves when you attack. It leaves fire as a thing, and with that attack, it synergizes. So instead of it being like a shotgun of earth that goes over the
but they've got
a shotgun of
magic weapons that do fire damage as well, and then rare magic weapons.
There are no elements in this demo. Other than
so, what do the blue items give you then? And the orange items yellow items that appear.
They're all just physical damage. Every skill is physical damage unless it's an elemental skill on one of the sorceress or druid, and they're the sorceress actually talent tree wise is split up into those. I think it's the 3 elements. So lightning, fire, ice. Yeah, and then I
wonder if they'll bring back unkillable mobs because you specialise lightning and they're immune to lightning and ice.
I have to say.
Oh, I hope they do that.
I have to say currently the elites. There's a couple of 2 or 3 elites that I've seen in the demo, and they're very inconspicuous as elites. They are obviously in D3 they went over the top, like making them have a blue glow or a yellow glow for the elites, and almost like an outline, which made them garish in a effed up kind of way.
I found it fine.
It was fine because it was just like, oh, I know what I'm looking at. But in this, they're much more. They're sort of hidden in. They're blended in, so they're a little bit bigger in some cases, but it's just they have a name and then an attribute on their bar. So I think there is going to be some, obviously, we've seen frozen orbs already on this, where they're like on D3, they're spawning a bunch of frozen orbs and they tick and then go off, so you can be frozen or whatever. So and then I'm sure they're going to bring back things like charge bolt but hopefully, hopefully not arcane beams, and we've seen pools of poison as well.
Yeah.
But so there's a lot there. I think the talent tree is going to make builds, and the choice of kit that you have is going to make builds. Also, because of the point system, they've brought back the point system on the uniques. So the uniques are now going to be how strong can I make my skill, not how much damage / what's the affix. It's going to be part of both because it's kind of dipping into both of Diablo 3 and Diablo 2. And also there was a curious thing they said. They want people, because they're going to make the set bonuses in the game for the set armors, they're going to make them less potent than ever before, but they're going to make them less potent than the legendaries, because they want people to err on having a mixed bag of legendaries rather than a set augmented by a couple of legendaries.
Yeah.
So they're going to put the onus on making the legendaries the stronger but more customizable fit for the character to increase build types. But obviously, like with every game,
I mean, why not just take out the sets then if they don't want that sounds like nonsense.
Well, I think there's always going to be, like, if it's like,
if you don't want someone to do it, then don't allow them to do it.
Yeah, but the thing is, not everyone's going to get their hands on legendaries, so the set bonuses will carry you into the game till you get the legendaries.
The sets are as rare as the legendaries, if not rarer in some cases, especially to get a complete. You're looking at 5 or 6.
Maybe they're going to make it easier then.
Items. Yeah, but then I don't understand.
But the thing is, you get the legendaries because they'd be better than having the set bonuses.
Well, collectively, you would imagine not. But otherwise, even if they are, then
legendary set bonuses. Job done.
But that's exactly what they're named, though. They are legendary set bonuses.
But also, it depends on if it's some of the 2 set bonuses in D2 and D3 are worth just having a 2 set piece of that.
Yeah, but you could easily do that. So you could make it 3, 4, and 5 pieces. It only activates on 3, 4, and 5. It just seems stupid that someone would say, "Oh, we don't really want someone playing with the sets."
No. They didn't say that. They said they're going to make the legendary stronger, so they're not going to...
Why?
Because everyone...
Why not make them as strong? It makes no sense.
It makes the grind
makes
longer.
no sense.
It makes the grind longer, and it makes the potential for builds to be different.
Again, if you don't want them to do it, don't include it.
Okay, cool. But include it if you want to give the option, right?
But obviously they want... But what's the point? It's a pale option. It sounds like it's watered down.
Well, we haven't got there yet.
No, it's not 2032 yet.
It's the year moving up. Every minute we speak about the game, the year moves further away from our lifetime.
Nuclear...
I'll be dead by then.
It's like nuclear fusion. It's 10 years from now.
Yeah, always 10 years from
12 years from now.
What was there was a point I was going to make on this as well.
I hear that they're going to colonise Mars before this game gets released.
Anyway, it put me off my track of thought again just when I found it. You scumbag. Yes, they mentioned about seasons, but only in the respect that for the season, because obviously they're going to do seasons because they've been doing seasons since Diablo 2. They are going to introduce new... Their plan is to introduce new legendaries every season in order to change... to keep the build thing ever rolling.
I mean, all that says to me is that they're going to have 30 at the beginning so that they can bring out 10 more when Season 2 rolls around.
Sure, maybe. It's fine though. I mean, every season for D3 that they have introduced new legendaries or switched up some of the things has definitely revitalised what you do, right? And changed builds and changed... Because obviously there only being a finite amount of items that you can put on your character and only in certain slots. You go, do I want AoE or do I want 10,000% damage when I freeze an enemy, but there's no thing saying what the chance of the 10,000% damage weapon damage is.
It's never knowingly occurred for me, so I can only assume the chance is 0.
I have to say, right, I created a wizard, right, and I playtested the absolute shit out of Fulminator, out of Manold Heal, and out of Rhymeheart. And I have seen it proc for all of them.
It's never happened with Rhymeheart.
No,
never ever happened with Rhymeheart. I'm using Frostburn, right? So, and I'm using all cold skills and Frostburn, which allegedly have like a 50% chance to freeze your enemy, or 20%.
It's not even
it's one of those. 20% chance. Frenzy. 20% good luck frenzy.
I've created
no chance. No chance. It does nothing. The goggles do nothing.
Okay.
Maybe you're not
okay, radioactive man.
Honestly.
I've created a Ray of Frost build.
Jeez.
That it literally happens every 5 seconds. I will show you. I will put it in the video just to prove that it's real.
Show me. Yeah, show me. It doesn't work. It does not work.
It just freezes. I can freeze people in shot and keep shooting them, and eventually it will crit billions.
I'm critting billions without it.
No, but I'm proving it works.
What do you mean? No, you're not.
Yeah, sure I am.
No, you're not.
You said it never procced.
Yeah,
I'm proving it procs.
It's never knowingly... It does 10,000% weapon damage. You would imagine that number would be bigger than the rest of them. It never does. Never happens. Never ever happens.
I'll tell you something. I killed a Rift Guardian yesterday with one of my Witch Doctors, and I got a T. It just said 10T.
T?
That's because of the patch. It must be. It's never done that before.
It did 10T. I was like, I've never seen
terror
T.
damage.
Well, it's trillion.
Yeah.
That's absurd, by the way. But
well, the character's absurd, by the way.
The game is like
never like I can. D4 will ship with 5 playable characters, and they said they're going to add 2 to 3 characters to that roster over the years, over the expansions, right? I can guarantee almost that the Witch Doctor will not feature at all in that lineup.
Why? What?
Well, they haven't even said, as of right now, they haven't even said that who the other 2 characters are.
What are the 2? Well, they said there's going to be 5 characters.
It's shipping with 5 characters.
Well, I mean, obviously they're going to bring back the Amazon ovs. And then the scoundrel guy from number 1, the
scoundrel.
Yeah, the thief or whatever he was. What was he? It was a rogue. Rogue?
There was a woman that was a rogue.
Yeah, rogue.
There was a sorcerer and there was a warrior.
I'm thinking of the rogue.
Obviously. It wasn't a thief, dude. It was the rogue. It was the rogue from D2. It was the rogue that you could get from the rogue encampment. Literally that character model.
From
the
D2.
helper.
Yeah, I'm talking about D1 though. There was a
character
class. It was the rogue, right?
Yes, it was literally the...
That's one. That's the one. And obviously the Amazon.
Rogue.
Ovs. Because lightning damage. Death!
Amazon, like... Javazon, Amazon, OP. Love that character. And then there's a second, for those people who are totally immune to lightning, that spear with the poison. Damage. No, that spear with the poison, decimate.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome build.
Bring me the head of Thanos.
That was the problem though with D2, and
I'm hoping they're going to do it now. It's like I just said.
Everyone knows it.
Like I just said.
It was like there was no build diversity if you did not make this build with the character.
My sorceress is going to be lightning. Everyone knows lightning's the way. Oh, right? You're lightning immune? Oh, dang. I want to restart the game.
It was like... Was it even worth playing? If you didn't synergize the build exactly as you could, it was not even worth playing.
Yeah, but that's exactly... They successfully replicate that in D3.
Not really.
Yes, really, there's small cup of variety.
I'll show you an absolute crazy wizard, and it's not a Ray of Frost one either, that uses Reinhardt. Anyway, yes, that was D4.
We're all looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes. Yeah.
Does it look like it's going to bring something new over Diablo 3? Beyond a fresh new storyline?
I think it's just changed enough to be different.
Okay.
But I don't... Like... I think people are missing a lot of what is there. You know what the problem is? They are like this year. I've never seen so many ARPGs being released, right? And this year's had more than its fair share. Like it's had 5 years worth of action RPGs, quite frankly, right? And they've all been woeful. Like Last Epoch's the best example of one, and that's unfinished. And as much as I want to play it, I don't want to play an unfinished product, right? Do you know what? And people might say, oh, this is going to be unfinished when it comes out and they're going to patch the crap out of it. Maybe on some level that's true, but on the actual level, it will be a fully fledged game when it's released.
They will hold it until it's ready.
Yes. And when it is released, of course, they're going to support it for years, like they have done with D2, like they have done with D3, like they've done with WoW. WoW is on its 15th anniversary this year. Like,
I played in the beta.
Like, wow.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Holy moly, it's a long time.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? And they will support this, and they will balance it, and they will change it, just like they have done to iterations before. Like, people seem to forget, it didn't come out at Lord of Destruction with Diablo 2. That was in the pipeline. That was like a massive content dump / fix for the game. Because the vanilla game was not close to Lords of Destruction. So, yes, I'm happy of what it looks like. But I care more about how it feels. Because they even said they were bringing the gameplay from Diablo 3. The gameplay in Diablo 2 was great for what it was at the time.
Yeah.
It is pale in comparison to what you can do in Diablo 3. The fact that I need to change my skill button in order to then do that skill is retarded. Okay? Just have more buttons. My keyboard is full of the fucking things. And I can only use 2 fucking buttons and then the 2 mouse buttons. I have to change the button with that button, F1, and then click. Are you fucking serious? I have literally 64 buttons here.
Could be worse. They could say for default, everyone has to use the controller.
Well, apparently it's being developed simultaneously for Xbox, PlayStation 4, and some wheezing gasbag streamer said, "Hey, I'm supposed to mention the upcoming consoles," and the guy said, "They don't even have a launch date. We don't have a launch date. Why would we even say it?"
That was the Digital Suffering Podcast. If you'd like to suffer some more, you can find other episodes on Red Circle, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Radio Public, and SoundCloud. Please like and subscribe everywhere.